12 rounds have now been cleared, and we have just 2 rounds to go in the normal World Rally Championship of 2001. So these are your point standings after 12 rounds. My win streak officially ends at 11, as Tommy Mäkinen very much beat me fair and square here in Corsica, as you can see there. I did give it my all in the end, but ultimately it wasn't enough to stop the high-powered and fast Mitsubishi that very much had me on the strings pretty much for the entire rally. So, you know what, he beat me fair and square. I don't really give a shit about going for perfection. The only thing I really care about is just getting this done, and also confirming myself as the champion, for which, as you can see, I am very much the champion-elect with a 70-point lead over Carlos. Now, we just have 2 rounds to go, so onwards now to the land down under, also known as Australia, the penultimate round of the championship.
If the WRC drivers have any energy left as they enter the penultimate event of the season, then they'll need it for Rally Australia. It's a relative newcomer born in 1988, but has quickly earned the team's respect. The route is fast and slippery. The gravel covering the road has been compared to ball bearings, and cars need specialist tyres to tackle it. The youngest WRC event offers a unique challenge.
You know, one thing that's really ironic about the way this championship ends is that we're basically heading from one Commonwealth country over to another Commonwealth country, as the last round will be taking place in Great Britain. I figured I'd just get that out there. So it's time now for Telstra Rally Australia, and where we start with stage 1 being New Harvey Weir. Let's see how we go. I'm going to keep the setup as it is. I will be the champion-elect regardless of what happens from here on out. Even if I have 2 terrible rallies in the end, I will still very much be confirmed as the champion, regardless of which way the end of the season goes. And hopefully, if it's possible this time around, my capture card will not suddenly decide to give me the middle finger again like it did before. Fortunately, however, there are only 2 rounds to go, and then as to what I do next, well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. So, got 2 more rounds to play as Alistair McRae, and then after this, and Great Britain, I'll very much be deciding on what my next plan is. But hopefully I can manage to at least stay consistent in terms of my point scores. And Gilles Panizzi, like he was the last time I tried this before my capture card crashed, he is surprisingly leading the stage, and gotta step on the brakes here. That's probably the best way to gain some time here. And now I actually lead the stage for the first time, over Carlos Sainz, Didier Auriol and Colin McRae. Evolution at the time did not have the licensing rights to use Colin McRae's name, because technically it was Codemasters who had the rights to Colin McRae's name because of the Colin McRae Rally Series. That was also popular at the time, and things are going a lot better all of a sudden, as I now have a 6-second gap over, I think it's Francois Delacour, if I'm not mistaken, who is running in fucking second position at the moment. But I am very much hopeful in saying that, for want of a better phrase, I can hold on here. And Gilles Panizzi is definitely proving to be the surprise runner here in Australia at the moment, as he's putting together a really good run in that fourth Peugeot, especially since he is the only one who has not scored yet. And what's my time going to be to start with? A 2:18.8. 5 seconds over Colin, and in all honesty, I'm okay with that. So that was stage 1 of Telstra Rally Australia. And because my first attempt of recording this got thwarted when my software decided to say no, and basically just crashed on me, this is actually going okay for the moment. So, 5.5 second win in stage 1 over Colin McRae, Francois Delacour third, so a double podium for Ford, Gilles Panizzi 4th, Carlos Sainz in 5th, and Didier Auriol is 6th in the second Peugeot. Then we got the 2 Mitsubishis, followed by the 2 Subarus, the first Skoda, and the third Peugeot. Then we have my 2 teammates, along with the second Skoda, 1 Citroen, and 2 Subarus. And yep, that's about right. And then at the bottom we have the 4th Peugeot of Marcus Gronholm and the other 2 Citroens of Puras and Bugalski. So those are your standings after the first stage. Let's now move on to the second stage. New Kevs. And it's going to be a short one as well, only 4 kilometers in length, so let's see how we go. As we have another 3 stages to go once we are done with this one. So, let's do it to it, and see if we can manage to get this one finished without any more technical dramas like what we had before. And hopefully we won't. So, yeah. Alright, stage 2.
3,
Let's see
2,
if we can make this one go well.
Go. 50, right 4.
So,
50,
off to a decent start,
into right 4.
and already I am up on the bank. But that's okay, because
50, left 5.
I did have a 5-second lead
Right 3.
heading into the stage,
Right 4.
so it's not like I would have had any real trouble at this point, as Gilles Panizzi is currently in second position ahead of Colin and Didier. That's your running order for the first sector. I have no doubt in saying those times will most likely change, and the gap has now gone down just a little bit, as this time it is Carlos who is up into P2 in the Ford. Figured I'd step on the brakes there so I don't make a similar mistake to what I made in the previous attempt. And, exact same delta time as before, damn it. Haha, you are not resetting me this time. Even though I did still fall into a ditch. But whatever. We just have to keep striking on. And now I am virtually 4 seconds behind I think it was, what, one of the Peugeots that's leading the stage now.
50, left 5.
Although, it probably doesn't make much of a difference to me because, well,
And finish.
I did win the first stage. Oh, and it's Gilles Panizzi who wins stage 2 in the Peugeot. Okay. You know what? I'm glad. You know what? I can accept that. That's actually not too bad in my opinion. But, either way, there we go. So, 2 stages down, and we still have 3 stages to go. So Gilles Panizzi wins stage 2 over myself, all 3 Ford drivers, and Didier Auriol completes the top 6. Then we had the 2 Mitsubishis ahead of Harry Rovanpera. Then we had 3 of the 4 Subarus, P10 to 12. Then Armin Schwartz in P13, followed by my first teammate Kenneth Eriksson. Then Marcus in the 3rd Peugeot. No wait, the 4th Peugeot. Then we had 2 Citroens, followed by the 3rd Hyundai. And then we had the 4th Subaru, the 3rd Citroen, and the 2nd Skoda. I have an 11-second lead over Gilles Panizzi, Colin McRae 3rd, Carlos Sainz 4th, Francois Delacour 5th, and Didier Auriol is in P6. And as I show you the rest of the leaderboard, I think it's pretty clear to say who precisely is running well and who isn't. And now we move on to a long stage 3. Flynn's short. Oh boy. Well, might as well go with long gears whilst I'm here because this is going to be a long stage. But we'll see how we go. As I sip my water, you probably can hear sound effects. I do apologise for that. But either way, like all of us sensible gamers, we do have to stay hydrated for delivering you the commentary. I will also consider skipping the loading wait times by the time we get to the Pro Championship.
2,
I think they're taking a little bit too long.
100 right.
And in all honesty, it probably would make sense.
50, left 3.
But we'll see how we go.
50, right 3. 100, left 2.
And
Right 2.
all in all,
50, left
I'd say
4.
we're doing pretty well for the moment.
50, right 4. Into left 5. And right 2. Into left 4. 50, right 2.
Okay, that did not go down very well.
Hairpin right. 100,
But you know what?
left 5.
That's okay.
50, right 5.
Because I honestly believe
50, left 5.
we are well on our way to scoring what should be
50, left
the
4.
second of 3 stage wins by the time we get this run going. Although, it probably doesn't matter if I do or don't win the stage because I do have a pretty large lead over Gilles Panizzi in the, who by the way is the 4th Peugeot driver, and I gotta say, it'll actually be nice to see pretty much all 4 Peugeot all 4, yeah that's right. Okay, let me start over. It'll be nice to see all 4 Peugeot drivers get some points on the board. And I certainly feel like that, for want of a better phrase,
50, caution.
it works rather well
Left 5 and right 3.
in terms of me being able
Left 3.
to put together the form. And now I am 1.6 seconds clear of Carlos.
50, right 3.
So then we've got Gilles Panizzi P3 and Francois running in P4.
100, right
So,
3.
I think it's fair to say me choosing the long gears heading into this stage,
50,
it's definitely helped me out, to say the least.
50, left 5. 50, right 2.
And right now,
Into left 1 and right 5.
I'd say we're doing okay.
50, left 5. And left 5. Into right 4. 50, left 4.
Okay. I do manage to keep my car on the road, which is what I want to do.
50, long left
And after 3.5 minutes, we have now approached the end of Sector 3, as I now have a 4.69
into
nice
3.
second lead in the stage over Colin.
50, right 4. Into hairpin left.
So, I think it's pretty easy to tell who the comers and goers are at this stage.
50, right 3. Into left 2.
And at this time,
Right 4.
I think we're going down pretty well,
50, right
from what I
2.
can see.
Into left 3. And
Okay.
right 3. And left 2.
Keeping my car
50,
in check
right 3.
with the road surface,
Into left 4.
and altogether, I gotta say,
50, right 3.
this run has actually gone really well.
Into left 3.
Although I guess part of the reason for that is because I extended the gear ratios on the transmission,
And right 4.
which, for want of a better phrase, does help.
Left 2.
And now I am just barely ahead
Over jump.
of Colin McRae in the final sector
50, right
of the
5.
stage. Stage 3 has definitely proven to be the longest stage
Into left
of this
5.
rally,
And
as well as the
right
game that I have driven so far.
50, left 4.
12.6 kilometers in length,
Right 3.
which I think is equivalent to about 6 or 7 miles if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it's definitely a long one,
50, hairpin right.
and altogether, we are still running good,
50, left
and
3.
I guess that's all we need to be.
50,
So,
right
doing okay at this
2.
time,
Right
and
5.
we just have a few more corners to go here.
And finish.
And what's my time going to be? A 5:53.48. Not bad. Not bad. Considering the way that penultimate sector went, I would gladly take that. So that's now 3 stages down in Rally Australia, and it looks as though we are pretty much well on our way to scoring 12 out of 13 wins. So Carlos Sainz finished P2, Gilles Panizzi P3, Colin McRae P4, Francois P5, and it was Didier who finished in P6. Then we have Tommy Mäkinen, best of the rest, and Jesus Puras had a good run in the Citroën during that stage, as he finished P12. And at the bottom we have the other 2 Citroëns, and Kenneth Eriksson finished in last during that stage. So Hyundai basically finished first place and last place in that stage. How ironic. Anyway, 20-second lead now over Carlos. It's looking more and more like I'm going to seal the deal, from what I can see. And pretty evenly split with the 3 Subarus at the moment, as they've got 2 Mitsubishis and 1 Skoda in that pack. And then we've got P13 to P18, rounded off by Peter Solberg. And then we have the bottom 3, rounded off once again by Filip Bugalski. Okay, now time for Atkins, stage 4. And you know what? I'm pretty confident in saying this is no doubt going to be an easy win. Unless I put together an absolutely atrocious stage time here at Atkins, I'm pretty confident in saying this is going to be another surefire win from what I can see. Just had to mute the mic for a second because surely you don't want to hear me slurping from my water bottle, which is right next to the microphone. I'm sure you don't want to hear that again.
3,
Alright,
2,
let's go.
1, go!
Beginning stage 4.
100 standing right.
As I once again have another misfire with the shifting, but that's okay because I do have a pretty confidential lead in saying that this is no doubt going to be what scores me the win, and already I start off on the back foot. But that's okay because I did have a big lead coming into this stage anyway, so you know what? I can probably afford one bad stage as long as I don't drop way behind. And in saying that, I now take the lead of the stage over the 2 Fords of Colin McRae and Francois Delacour in this stage 4. And overshooting a corner, but that's okay because I do stay on track, and now I am 2 seconds behind Colin.
50, left 4.
Oh well, it was nice while it lasted.
Into long right 2.
Still find it kind of surprising to say that Citroen has not scored any points yet, although I'm pretty sure there was a glitch involved somewhere, and it looks like I might be able to. I had to open my mouth. I thought for sure that was going to be a surefire stage win, but instead I had to overshoot the corner as soon as I opened my mouth. Oh well.
And finish.
What's the time going to be? Okay. 1.32 seconds. I don't think that really matters. I'll take that. Not exactly my best overall run, but again, I'm pretty sure no one is going to beat me for the win, because I did have a pretty sizable gap heading into that stage anyway. So, yeah. And doesn't look like the top 6 is going to change regarding the 3 Fords and 2 Peugeots. And looks like Mitsubishi is once again best of the rest. And Jesus Puras having another good run in the Citroen. Then got the other 3 Subarus. And then the bottom, rounded off once again by Kenneth Eriksson. So I have a 29.4 second lead over Carlos Sainz, so it's pretty clear to say the win now is pretty much all but assured. Colin is P3, Gilles Panizzi P4, Francois Delacour P5, and Didier is P6. Tommy Mäkinen is still best of the rest in the leading Mitsubishi, and Jesus Puras is having a reasonable run in the Citroën as he's in P13, and there's the rest of your results. Okay, now we move on to Brunswick, the 5th and final stage of Rally Australia. Here we go. And then, once we are done here, all we will have left is Rally Great Britain, and then after that, well, stay tuned to find out. I have something planned, but I'm not going to say what that is yet. At least, not until I have some surefire confidence myself over what the plan is going to be. But, as ever, just sit tight and I will no doubt think of something that I want to do. Anyway, final stage of Rally Australia, or more specifically, of Telstra Rally Australia.
3, 2,
It's kind of nice to know that all of these stages were run in broad daylight, and once again, another fumble with the
50, long
gear
right
shifts,
4,
but
right
that's okay because
into
I believe
right
this
5,
is not going to be
4, open,
too hard for me to finish.
into left
Of
2,
course, I did do one stage earlier on that was
50, right 2,
literally more than 12 kilometers.
into right 4,
So, I think driving these extra miles, it's nothing new to me. It's just a matter of me making sure that I get to the end. I can more or less afford a mistake or two
50, right
in terms
4,
of pretty much where I stand, because I did have a huge lead heading into the final stage anyway, so
into left
I probably can afford a mistake or two, or a spin or two if you will, because
right 4,
I'm pretty certain in saying that I'm no doubt going to win this.
50, right 5,
Regardless of how bad of a stage I have
50, left 1,
in this last one.
right 5,
As long as I finish within 28 seconds of where Carlos finishes, I'm pretty much going to walk away
right 2,
with this rally and the trophy well in hand.
and right 4,
And in spite of my bloopers, I am still pulling away somehow. Don't know how that works, but it works anyway.
100, long right 1,
So it looks as though it is going to be 12 of 13 rallies won.
50, left 5,
Of course, my setup tweaks are always there to help me
50, left 5,
for whenever I need them.
50, right 2,
And lost a bit of time there through that sector, but
2,
again, I can more or less afford to lose a bit of time, as long as it's not too much time.
50, right 2,
This should more or less be
50,
what I believe will be a pretty comfortable win
right 2,
in the end, because of just how far up the road I am schmoving at the moment.
right 5,
and I am in the trees and straight into a ditch. Well, it was nice while it lasted. I kind of knew I was going to overshoot to one corner somewhere and go out onto the prairie. Oh well. Not exactly the way I would have wanted to go about this, but either way, it's not going to change the outcome. Even if I do make one more serious mistake or two, I'm pretty sure it will not change the outcome of the rally because I haven't given myself any terminal damage, and at this stage I'm kind of just making mistake after mistake. But since we are not in the Pro Championship, I can more or less afford these, because I do have such a comfortable lead out front anyway. It's not really going to change the outcome of the rally. And, okay, 5 seconds in the end, behind Colin. You know what? I'm okay with that. Not exactly my finest stage run, but either way, it doesn't change the outcome because, well, I still come away with the rally win anyway. Plus the field was very widely split in that rally. So now that we have officially won the rally, so now that we have officially completed the rally, we have now unlocked Great Britain. So that was Rally Australia, and now I'm going to save the replay, because I have to. So, that's what I do. Part 13 of this game is what it is. Okay, cool. And now, I'll save the game just before we move on. We do only have one rally to go, and that is Great Britain. And then afterwards, well, I've got something in the pipeline. So Colin wins the final stage of Rally Australia in Brunswick, Gilles Panizzi 3rd, Carlos Sainz in 4th, Francois Delacour 5th, and Didier Auriol finished 6th in the second Peugeot. Then we had the two Mitsubishis ahead of Thomas Radstrom. So he came along really good in that last stage as he scores a top 10. Then Marcus in P10 and got two Subarus followed by Philippe in the second Citroen. Then the two Hyundais ahead of the other two Subarus, and I think that's the that's the fourth Peugeot. And then we have the bottom three being the two Skodas and the third Citroen. So those are your rally results. 29 seconds over Colin McRae, Carlos 3rd, Gilles 4th, Francois 5th, and Didier 6th. And the two Mitsubishis were best of the rest. And definitely had some comers and goers in that rally, if I do say so myself. But I can definitely say the parity continues. Either way, doesn't matter because we have won Telstra Rally Australia. So 126 points now. I have a 76 point lead now over Carlos. Tommy is still 3rd. Colin now moves up to 4th as a result of him finishing runner-up. Richard Burns 5th, and Didier Auriol holds on to 6th, scoring another point. So Francois scores another 2 points to increase his P10 advantage. We still have a tie for 8th between Freddie and Kenneth, but Gil Panizzi has now become the 16th driver to score points. We have had a lot of parity in this championship. Still kind of sucks to say that Citroën don't have any points yet. Anyway, those are your manufacturer standings. 137 to Hyundai, 85 to Ford, and 60 points to Mitsubishi, for whatever reason. Anyway, on now to Rally Great Britain.